Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to the Happy Ever After show. I am so honored that you're going to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes with me talking about how to turn your business into your happy ever after, which I'm guessing is exactly what you wanted it to be when you started it. So we're going to get into that. Today specifically, I want to talk about branding and when you need branding and when to go forward with getting your logo and your brand and actually answering the question, do you need awesome branding to make money? But before that, I just want to mention a couple things. Number one is that my book, Lifestyle Design for a Champagne Life, is free on Amazon for a few days. So if you just go to Amazon.com and you type in the search bar, Lifestyle Design for a Champagne Life, you will see my book pop up and it'll be $0 for the ebook. I would love if you grabbed that, as lifestyle design is really key to building a business that is your happy ever after, because I'm guessing you started your business because you wanted it to support a certain life. And if you're not clear on that life, it's hard to create a business that's in alignment with that life and runs smoothly. And so the clearer you are about the life you want to live, the easier your business will create itself. So grab that on Amazon, Lifestyle Design for Champagne Life. I'm doing that in celebration of being the author of the month for Difference Press. So next week, my book, Marketing to Serve, will be for free. So you can also check that out next week. Put that on your calendar. The second really exciting thing that I have to tell you is that my course, Manifest 10K, is now open again. I know that many of you have heard me mention it on the show, and you go and try and sign up. And it's not available anymore because I decided in October that it just wasn't right to run the course anymore for business reasons, it just wasn't right. And I had loved doing it, but I decided I wanted to move on. And after having, a 6-month break or so, 5-month break from it, from promoting it every month and from having an enrollment every month, I've decided, because number one, I get a lot of people who find it later and are like, oh, when is it going to open back up? I didn't get a chance. I just found out about it. So I want to make that available to people, number one. And number two, it feels in line with my business now, and which brings me to a really good point. I've talked on the show before about going all in. Going all in on whatever decision it is that you make, whether it's going all in on a marketing strategy for 90 days, committing to just doing that, whether it's going all in, in terms of what one service or one product are you going to offer and really get that off the ground. Going all in is one of the, if not the most powerful thing that you can do in your business that really will help it become your happy ever after. Because when you go all in, you also get back total clarity. So when I shut down Manifest 10K, I really had no intention of offering it again anytime in the near future. I didn't even think I would offer it on a once-a-year basis. I thought it's done, it's closed down, it's in the past, everything is over. And I shut down all of the forms that I could find, although some of you are great manifestors and you find other forms out there that were still available, but they didn't have, the autoresponders behind them. And I did that because I was all in on shutting that course down. I went 100% in on it not being right for my business at the time. And what that does, and anytime you go 100% all in, you get total clarity. It was great to have this sort of break in my business, to be able to see how things fit together, to be able to look at things without that course. And it was a couple weeks ago, and I said, I got to open this course back up. And there was total clarity there. It wasn't like, oh, I think I should open this course back up, or I wonder what would happen if I open it back up. It was like, this is the right next move. And what taking a break and what going all in to shutting it down did for me was really allow myself to see through a clearer lens. How does it impact my business? How does the time, running that course affect me? What are the things that I could outsource that weren't bringing me joy about that, which was one of the biggest things, is that there's a couple of things about running the course. Like I love the course. I love the people who come to the course. I love the people who do the course, but there's a few things about running it in logistics that were time consuming and were not awesome and fun and joy filled to manage. But when I fully let go and was able to step back and really see the full picture, now going back into it, I can create it exactly as I want it. So that I only do the parts that are filled with joy for me, so that, I can outsource the things that I didn't love doing. And now I know how to outsource them. I'm not in the middle of it trying to figure it out. So that's easier. And all of that really came, I believe, from going all in. I was never on the fence. I was never 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I never said, I said, and I meant it, like, I don't know when this course will ever be offered again. I don't think it will ever be offered again. And I 100% meant that because I was all in to not having that course at the time. But again, what that going all in, and it doesn't matter whether it's about a course, it's about a marketing, like going all in brings clarity. It brings total clarity to things in your business, and it allows you to see through a different lens. So, I think the worst thing that you can do for your business is be 1 foot in, 1 foot out on any part of it. Not just, people always talk about all the time, like go all in for your success, go all in believing in your business, and people do that. But what I don't see people talk about a lot is how every decision in your business, you have to go all in whichever way you're going, whether it's, a yes or a no or a stay or a go or a keep or a new, whatever it is, you have to go all in on every decision in your business. Otherwise, there's tons of murkiness, and we get what we already have, like what we're allowing to happen. So if there's murkiness, like you're going to get murkiness back in terms of like lackluster results and getting clients. You're going to get murkiness and knowing where your clients come from. You're going to get murkiness in promoting. You're going to continue to promote sort of just murkily. I always compare like clarity is like, the waters of Bora Bora, where you see like just these amazing huts and this crystal clear water that you can see forever. And murkiness is like a swamp. You can't see in there. You don't know what's in there. And that's not attractive for your business, right? Nobody wants to jump in a swamp where there might be an alligator. But you don't have to be really invited into that water in Bora Bora. You'll run and you'll jump in because it's so clear and you know what you're getting. So I just want to encourage you, because I think that was a big, big lesson in the last couple weeks from me, is to go all in. And what that's allowed for me, in addition to just that clarity, is to see the bigger vision of what that course is going to be and create an even bigger vision of what it was, because I stopped and I took a break and I was all in for not having that and creating something else, which allowed me to see the importance, the significance, the desire that I have to actually maintain that course and keep that course and grow it to a whole new level. So it's not just going all in on your business that makes a difference. It's going all in on every single decision. And with that said, let's talk about branding. And do you have to brand right away? When should you brand? Can you make money without having this whole branding strategy and amazing logos and all this stuff? And you can. And I know a lot of brand strategists, people who have master's degree in branding and marketing and all these things. And they might not agree with what I have to say right now, and that's okay. And I've also been to lots of conferences where people talk about how your branding is what sells your business and sells your company. And at some point it is. But if you're in a service-based business, you have to have people to serve. And that's how you make money, right? So if you have something that you're selling that is huge on the market and you have a strategy, like a $500,000 branding strategy, or $500 million was the last thing I heard, like to make a brand a household name, it takes about $500 million. So if that's your strategy, like if you are Coke or Pepsi or, you want to compete with them, and so you want to make yourself a household brand, that makes sense in that strategy. But when you're in a service-based business, it's different. The reason why it's different is because usually when you're in a service-based business, you're a service-based entrepreneur, it's just you. Often we're solopreneurs. Sometimes, I have a VA. I have some great people that I've just hired on Upwork to do some projects. I have, a person who does some work on my website. But for the most part, it's just me. Like those people are doing projects or doing little things. We do work as a team, but they're not as equally invested in what I'm doing. So it's mostly me, and I'm the one selling my service, and I'm the one providing my service. So, and that's the way most service-based entrepreneurs, solopreneurs are. And what we hear a lot of times if you go to a business conference or whatever, is that you have to get all this branding so right or you're not going to make money. And that's just not true. The best way to make money is to sell your stuff and to serve the people you're meant to serve. If you start your business doing that, it's going to be so much easier for so many reasons. So one of the reasons I see people get caught up in branding is that it's an easy way to hide. It's a great way to not offer your service until everything's perfect. And I love one of my favorite branding strategists is Danielle Miller, and her book is called Smarty Pants Branding, which you can also find on Amazon. And Danielle is awesome because she really sees the person and she sees, everything that you do. And I love it. And I was watching an interview with her the other day. And the question was how do you know if it's right or something like that with your branding? And Danielle's answer was, it's never done. It's never finished. It's never complete. It's never going to be perfect because you're evolving. So if you're in a service-based business and you're offering something, you are constantly evolving, which means your brand is constantly evolving. So it's never going to be at its final stages. And I've watched this with people who go all in, and they go all in with one thing, and then they add another level of support or service to their business. And then, they come up with some new branding for that support or service and go all in and come up with some new branding and all of that. And I think what Danielle says is important because as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs especially, and especially when we have servants' hearts and we're in this business of serving people, we want everything to be perfect before we get started. But what I would say to you is get started. You can absolutely make money without having your solid branding in place or knowing what's going on. How do I know that? Because I have. I've built a more than 6-figure business not having my branding in place. And it's just 2 weeks ago, I got really clear on what is my branding going to be right now, what feels amazing. And it took 5 minutes. That was the key. And I was with my mentor at the time and we said, okay, it's time. I have to name my stuff. I have all these people going through my workshop. And if you're on my list, sometimes I just call my workshop the workshop. Say, if you want to come to the workshop and spend a weekend with me, because it was in such flux about what to call it. I thought I had a name for it, when a year and a half ago, when I came up with the brand, and I was doing the Champagne Life book series and all of that. And that ran into some snags, which are absolutely fine because it was all in alignment with growth. But, I thought I had it and some things changed. And so I wouldn't know what to call the workshop. And so I would try on different names and I wouldn't love them. So what I did was I just kept selling the workshop as the workshop. And here's the thing. Nobody bought the workshop because they knew the name of it. I promise you, no one said, oh, I have to do the workshop because of the name. They bought it because of what they wanted the outcome to be. Some of them probably didn't even know the name because truthfully, I didn't know the name, right? And so that's what's important is that you can absolutely build a business before you have all your branding figured out. So I'm in the process of hiring someone to do logos and to really create a brand where every facet of what I do, because of course I need a logo now for the Enchanted Palace. I started thinking about what other logos do I need? And it was time. My mentor was like, all right, we got to name your stuff now. And I said, absolutely. It's time because now I've evolved my business, especially the workshop. I know that there's the Enchanted Palace as part of that. I know all the pieces of my business. I can totally create that brand that a year and a half ago, especially 2 years ago, I could not have created because some of what I do now wasn't even it didn't even exist. I had to go through and make sure and check and have ideas and follow one idea to the next to create things that I have now. And so trying to do all of that branding before I stepped into my business and I was actually doing my business, I don't think would have come up with this outcome. And the way that we knew it was totally right branding, it took us literally 5 minutes. 5 minutes to name everything, 5 minutes to come up with just anything that was branding. And, she looked at me and she said, "It's easy, so we know it's right." And I'm like, absolutely. Like there was no question. It just happened. And I think often we want to create a brand because we want to create something that looks pretty because we don't feel polished and pretty in our business yet. And so we'd rather spend time like designing and working with someone and getting someone else's opinion about who we are and what we do than we would our own. And I love hiring a brand strategist when you're ready. Like if I had needed to, I'd absolutely gone to Danielle, and I've done work with Danielle before. And Danielle has definitely, like she said, it's never done. So she's helped me with evolutions of my brand that helped me get here. But, if I was going to go whole strategy right now, I would definitely go to her. But I had to step into that. Going to her when I wasn't fully sure who I was, what I was doing, and where I was going in my life and my business would have been fruitless because she can't come up with those things for me. She can help me based on what I know, but she can only help me based on the information that I can give her because I know it. And the main point is like, I love branding and I love pretty logos and I love all that. And I'm really excited to be getting sort of the Live Enchanted logos going. But my point is that you can make more than 6 figures without having everything branded. You can make more than 6 figures without having a name that you're excited about or a specific name for your product. Like you can call something the workshop and people will buy it because they're not buying the name, they're buying what it is. So if you're clear on what it is and what happens in the workshop and you're clear on who you're serving and you're clear on the life that you're creating, those are the things that drive business, not your logo. And yeah, there are times when you absolutely need a logo. And there's times, if you've signed up for Enchanted Messages, you see the little gold box with Enchanted Messages because I wanted something a little bit branded. So I went on Canva and made a little something. It took me 30 seconds because I wanted something. I wanted a placeholder for the moment. I knew I was going to get it branded. I knew I was going to get something beautiful created. And you'll see if you're on that list, you'll see that change. If you're not on it, you can go to Enchanted Messages by mail and get Enchanted Messages delivered to your mailbox. But you'll see that little logo change, but you can absolutely just put in a placeholder just like I did. I didn't let it stop me from moving forward. And I didn't go spend $1,000 or $500 or even $250 on a logo because I needed it in that moment because I knew I wasn't 100% ready. I knew everything. I wanted to know everything else that was going to come together because I wanted it to be all connected. And so the best thing about where I am in my business now and the fact that I've made money without having awesome branding and amazing logos is that now when I invest in those things, when I'm about to invest in getting beautiful logos made, that money is not coming out of my pocket. It's actually coming out of the money that my business has made and continues to making. And for me, that's especially important because there were so many times in my life, I just got done doing my taxes, and I always think about this around tax time, where I just poured money into my business hoping that it would work. And it was out of my pocket, because I had a job. So I would just fund my business from my job and hope that one day it would work. And that was my strategy, was just like keep putting money into it and someday it's going to work out. Well, that's not how it worked. I had to learn how to make money in it and then invest in those things for my business. And that's so much more satisfying. Like knowing that I can pay for a logo out of money that my business generated feels so much more powerful and juicy to me than going, okay, I have to brand this and digging it out of my pocket, which, I might have done at certain points in my career. And I think that's the tendency for entrepreneurs when they get started. It's like, okay, let me fund my business up front. Let me pull this money out because if I have a brand, I'll make money. And it's like, go make money so you can create a brand. And I wish someone had taught me that a long time ago. I really learned that on my own. And then I had my mentor point it out, that this is how you do it and this is how you keep growing. And I love it because that is the key. Like, go sell your stuff. Go get people enrolled in your programs. Go have conversations with people. Have people sign up for one-on-one coaching. And then take your business to that level where it has a beautiful brand and a beautiful logo. And you make the investment in those things based on the money that it's made for you, instead of making the investment in them, hoping that your business will be able to pay you back and will make money for you. And that's really what I want to say about branding, is just that it's absolutely 100% possible to make not just money, but a lot of money without having your brand solid. That is not the thing that makes or breaks your business. So if you've been hiding possibly behind, trying to find the perfect logo or get your branding just right, just come out from behind that and go serve the people that you're meant to serve. And once you've served 10 of them, you'll have a much clearer idea of your brand and what your logo should be. So that's my branding strategy information for today. And really it comes down to what I just said, like, be brave. Be brave, be bold, and be beautiful in your business. Because if you are brave, bold, and beautiful in your business, you are the ultimate logo and you are the ultimate branding. And if you are all of those things, a design on a piece of paper or on a computer screen can't compete with that. It can support it, but it can't cover up if you're not being brave and bold and beautiful in your business. It can't hide that so that you can make money. You have to come out and you truly have to step into the entrepreneur that is brave, that is bold, that is beautiful in her work, and be that person and be willing to be seen as that person and be willing to be your own logo and your own brand as you start and you create a business that then supports the ability to go hire someone to create amazing branding and an amazing logo for you. So come out from hiding if that's where you've been. Just be brave. That's really all being an entrepreneur is. I think it boils down to being brave, being bold, and being beautiful, right? It's about the bravery to step into that next version of yourself, like a bigger version. It's about being bold, like really being willing to be seen. And then really being beautiful, like allowing your heart to serve in the very beautiful way that it was designed and meant for. So that's kind of what it all boils down to. So that leads me, I just want to remind you that the Manifest 10K course is available. So just go to manifest10k.com and register for that and get your money mindset lined up with that business that you want to have. It's such a great tool and great course to help you line up with that and having abundance and all the money that you want in your life, starting with manifesting $10,000. So you can do that by going to Manifest 10K. And remember to get your copy of Lifestyle Design for Champagne Life on Amazon while it is complimentary. So that just leaves us with one more thing, and that's today's mantra. And really, this totally fits into this branding conversation. And your mantra is, I am brave. I am brave. Repeat it as often as necessary and really step into that brave, bold, beautiful entrepreneur that I know you are. Send me any stories or questions that you have. I love to hear how the show has impacted your life, but I just want to send you off and have a fabulous week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.